Today's morning coffee vinyl side, the Limeliters, the best of the Limeliters 1964. This best of compilation album came at the end of a 10-album run for the Lou Gottleib fronted Limeliters with Alex Hassilev and Glenn Yarbrough that started in 1960 and ended around 64. Like any backward-looking retrospective, this album offers a brief survey of their history up till that point and marks the end of their initial success as a band. They had already ceased touring earlier in the year, and there would be only one more studio album to follow before this incarnation of the band would hang it up. But in many ways, they went out on top. February 9th, 1964. The day of the Beatles' first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show was really D-Day for the folkies that came out of the 50s folk scene, and we usually talk about the Beatles and the British invasion of youth-centric rock music as the great force that swept them off the charts. And that happened here too, but more in parallel, because D-Day for the Limeliters actually came December 12th, 1962. After their commercial flight out of Denver was canceled due to heavy fog, the group arranged a charter to fly them to Salt Lake City where they had an engagement to perform. After landing permission in Salt Lake was denied due to the same fog, they were diverted to an alternate airfield and cleared to land. Now, it's said that a bad altimeter on the twin-engine Beechcraft caused the pilot to misjudge the plane's altitude when he banked on his approach, and that the plane crashed about 1.5 miles short of the runway in an abandoned field. Now, the plane was destroyed, but all passengers, including the Limeliters, survived. Suffering lacerations and broken bones, they were relatively okay given the enormity of what could have happened. But there were unseen injuries, including head trauma to the group's lead tenor Glenn Yarbrough, that set them on a new trajectory. After my own recent near-death 2 months ago, I can only imagine how impactful the trauma of that plane crash was for the Limeliters. For all three men, it triggered a reassessment of life and priority. The net result of that was that they opted to dissolve the group. The most severely and immediately impacted was Yarbrough, his head injury being the wild card that triggered many life changes. Perhaps the best voice of the group, he became a bit lost as he struggled to find meaning and purpose, immediately retiring from the group in 1963. Gottlieb and Hassilev would both find themselves dissatisfied as well. Dissatisfied with folk music and their routines of recording and touring, ending things in 1965. It was too easy, their repertoire and stage banter too formulaic and polished for them to find true satisfaction or fulfillment carrying on. Hassilev would find some success on Broadway and acting in film and television, and Gottlieb would form a commune and hippie cult. But of course, those are all stories for another time. And yes, they were done in 65. But like many bands, both then and now, like Kiss or the Eagles or the Who, they would return. They always do.